Welcome back to the game, everyone. We last left off. The party had returned to Gumtar Stronghold, visited their contact Mac, delivered the goods to Mac, did their coin, and went back to their town. In the intervening time, it's been about 10 or 11 days in Gumtar Stronghold since that evening. The party has spent time training with their contacts, exploring the city, looking for various items that they might need, and waiting on a job to appear that might interest them, or for Mac to call and say, hey, I got work for you guys if you're interested. We pick up on the 39th day of Brinsoff, with the party setting in their tavern. I'll actually switch to the Laughing Dragon. Here, there we go. Room up. I see where Grun's.
Yeah, I forgot what I named all these rooms.
Yeah, was it you that went through and named that whole room?
I just made a suggestion. The proprietor of the place must have agreed.
Well, you are the proprietor.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Yeah, you got this is your all's tavern.
Where is Grun? Oh, why don't I?
He's at the bar.
I was questioning where Grun was. Silly me.
Yeah, he's at the bar having a drink. So we pick up and we'll say it's in the evening in Gumtar Stronghold. It's been a typical day in the region. Traffic has passed through. You've managed to set up the beginnings of your relationship with Bright Glass. You received a small shipment of the drinks and stuff which Dash and Grun worked on to get the bar up and running. You also have a small shipment of the sigilled glasses to make things cold in.
Sweet.
It's actually going over fairly well in the area. You brought in not a huge amount of traffic, but your traffic is up.
Yeah. Now, Grun would have personally checked every one of those mugs before turning it loose.
I'm sure he would have.
Dash would have made sure to clean every one of those mugs immediately after.
Immediately after. And actually, you actually do have a bartender that works there in the bar. His name is Lucky.
Lucky? Who gave him that name?
I don't know.
Obviously not his mother.
So he come to you with. Lucky runs the bar and pretty much runs the inn. You got a couple of small staff. They do serve. It's more of a bar than a tavern per se, though you all do serve like stews and simple food, bar food. I guess in modern days the equivalent of burgers. They're in the bar, and you said you've attracted a few odds and end traffic in. So more of the locals have come in, and the clientele has moved up a little bit from what it was when you first moved in. Mainly because you're bringing the better spirits, so it's starting to catch on. Though they're usually after fight nights, a fairly decent following of Gruns has started inhabiting the bar, particularly if he wins. I think they're hoping that Grun will be generous and give us some of their fine ales, but he has not been overly generous with that, though he has enjoyed his celebrations. So Grun has picked up a little bit of a following, of those of you who don't know, and I'll let Grun share that here as you guys are sitting around the bar talking, or in the bar talking as things are working. But Grun has picked up a little bit of a following at the Merchantman after his nearly beating a small tournament there. Not lost the one bout. He would have won the tournament. So, what's going on? What are you guys doing there in the tavern this evening, as the evening winds on?
I don't know about the rest of them, but during these 10 days, and his downtime at the bar, he would have been getting to know maybe some of the more regular patrons of the bar. particularly anyone that looks like they're could be good at fighting.
And there's a few that, like I said, you've picked up a little bit of a following. There's a few that you've gotten to know. I've given you all, of course, background information on things specifically that you've picked up over the last 10 days in the city. I did not prepare a newspaper article to show anything since you guys have physically been in the city for the last 10 days. You picked up a few. I said one of the things that Quorum has noticed and that Grun has heard tell of is the fact that the tally is increasing their ranks, which you saw that when you came back into the city, and they are expanding, and it's largely in part to do, or what piece together, the fact that the undead are getting not out of hand, but more common, to the point where they're actually starting to come into the city streets at night.
Now, can Quorum, is this anything that our inn has to worry about, or is it nearby where we've established, kind of in the tavern? Or should he be prowling around at night with them, or, I mean, like he'd kind of contribute in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of alarming that there's undead physically on the streets in the city.
Well, it's only been a recent last couple of nights that's been, becoming a more of a serious problem. But the tally itself has been patrolling the streets, though many of the taverns and stuff have made sure that they've put, bouncers or people outside the doors just to kind of keep an eye on the street and make sure that, patrons coming and going aren't molested by undead. But definitely something that you all would be, as owners of the tavern, would be a little concerned about.
So one thing that you didn't really clarify in our back and forth, Jason, I apologize for not putting this private
That's
message,
okay.
but one of the questions that Grunt had was, last session we saw there were more tallymen basically being recruited, and I understand what you shared with me, but you also, maybe it's just a fact that I'm just diving into, don't need to, but you said in the last session that they were wearing like new shiny armor.
Yes.
Was that just because they're new recruits or was there something more to that?
Well, as you dug around, of course, and you talked to your contact there, I won't share his name because I don't know if you've shared his name, but as you talked to your contact, one of the things that you kind of sussed out was that apparently one or more of the local noble houses is been giving a cash infusion to the tally guards, the tallymen, so that they can purchase new equipment. And what has been happening within the guard, the older officers and the guards have been given new equipment, and then their equipment has been moved down the ranks to the lower ranks below them. So like the ones that you saw with the newer equipment, they were a little bit higher up soldiers. They weren't brand new, fresh recruits, though even some of the fresh recruits are wearing newer armor because of the influx of cash that they've got into their coffers. And cash, of course, is being dumped right back out into the local economy because the blacksmiths and stuff are working overtime to create this armor and equipment for the tally. And it's largely to do with the fact that the tally are having to actually do more than just patrol the streets for crooks and thieves and beggars and what have you. They're actually having to deal with the undead at night. Okay.
So, tangent to that, the promotion that was offered to me.
Yes.
If I accept that, am I done adventuring? Or how does that work?
The offer that was extended to you was to become Alley.
Right.
You would assume responsibilities and stuff there in the city and would be available upon call. However, because of your renown, both as a pit fighter and as an adventurer, because of your work with the retrieval service, it was more of a, yes, you would be extended an officer a rank in a position within the tally, but it would be understood that you may be in or away from the city, that just basically when you were there, in the city, you would be expected to, maybe run a watchtower or something like that when you're there, and you wouldn't be paid when you're not away, because the tally themselves are paid by the city. But I understand that you're an adventurer and you move off and go off and do things, but so far everything you've done, for the most part, has been to the benefit of the city. or at least
Okay.
as your contact saw it.
Okay. All right. So based on that, I'm probably going to accept it unless
Okay.
there's some that works from what I find out from Dash.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and also based upon that, assuming that I do accept that, does that mean I will get better understanding of who's infusing this cash into the tally?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
you would, obviously, because of the rank that came with it.
Yeah. So I get new armor then, right?
Well, quite possibly.
Okay.
Quite possibly.
This keeps getting better and better.
Quite
Now,
possibly.
But as a barbarian, doesn't it hurt you to have armor?
Using unarmored defense right now anyway. Not till my my con and everything else gets up higher.
And,
Gotcha.
sorry, what were you saying there, Corum?
I was just wondering, like, would we be sharing? I mean, Corum obviously playing at various establishments. He kind of picks up on information and learns new things, and some of those things you've kind of shared with me. But like, would he? I'd assume he'd be relating that to the party when we got back to the tavern.
I would assume so. And if you all want to RP that, I will shut up and let the party actually RP. Lightning. I will say comment that there's been a couple whispers in chat for you all from Lightning. I see some of them, not all of them. But Lightning has
Rand,
commented.
can you read that or not?
No,
Do what?
I'm strictly Discord right now.
Yeah, he's on
Sorry, guys.
Discord. I'll read them through just so because I can see them. Lighting commented that, or made in a side comment to Bertra, that the undead problem that the churches think that there's a vampire of some type, that it isn't a young necromancer, as she says, a baby necromancer. And see, I'm skimming through here real quick. And see. She basically said that it came from the head priest. Okay. And there's been a Bertra as they discuss looking for said vampire.
So we can just kind of probably skip a little bit of the role play. Corum's just going to kind of share with you guys that he knows that it seems like the two noble houses are Lord Kincaid and Lord Torque. Kincaid, obviously, we're familiar with and have done things with him. In fact, I think that's who we got the bar from, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that they're heavily fortifying our troops here in the city, and they seem invested in what we're doing. And then also that, shoot, I gotta switch to the other screen. The Bronze Company, is that right, Jason, or am I butchering?
Bronze Torch.
Looking at the screen.
The Bronze Torch
Company. They lost some men in the north. I don't recall to what, but they're actively and heavily recruiting at the moment as well.
The Bronze Torch is one of the outfits of the two houses that they are funding.
The Bronze Torch, Bertrand knows more about them than probably anybody in the group, but the Bronze Torch is a mercenary company that is using Gumtar Stronghold as its main headquarters in this region of the world. It's actually one of the companies that you all passed that was heading northward when you all were coming in with the gem. Passed a contingent of their soldiers headed north.
That's right, where we pulled over and let everybody kind of go.
Yes. Yes. That was a group of the Bronze Torch.
Is it the same outfit that's funding them, that's funding the tally?
No, the Bronze Torch, Bertra would know this. The Bronze Torch was hired by a noble to the north in the contested lands to work for them, and sent detachments north for that. But since they have a vested interest in taking care of the city of Gumtar, since it's their home as well, and they are actually helping the tally in the evenings with the zombie problem, the undead problem in the city. So it's not uncommon to see them around the city as well, or to see a group of tally with a group of Bronze Torch soldiers as well doing their job. They're not considered part of the guard, but they're helping the guard with the issue within the city.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
no, go ahead, Bertra.
Yeah, Bertra lets them know that they've suffered quite a few losses. They need sort of like people to fill the contract at Castle Caldwell.
Isn't Castle Caldwell the one that we liberated?
Yes, it is.
Uh-oh, some shit. What must have gone?
Did he help liberating it or defending it? I'm sorry.
I think they just lost like a load of people up north, and they're just sending the more experienced ones that they had at the castle up north.
Okay, so they haven't lost possession of it. They just need to replenish the ones that they sent north. Right?
The Bronze Torch has a contract with Lord Torek to provide guards for Castle Caldwell while it's being renovated. And
Sorry, I'm going to ask a dumb question because I
that's
thought
okay.
Torek and Kincaid are kind of like not necessarily together. And isn't Caldwell owned by Lord Kincaid?
Caldwell is owned by Lord Torek.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's right.
Caldwell is owned by Lord Torek. That's okay. There's lots of bits and pieces of the lore that kind of starting to fall into place for you guys. Lord Torek owns Castle Caldwell. You all liberated it as a contract through Mac that Torek took out with Mac to get the castle liberated. After he came into the city, he realized that the castle, which was old family holdings of his, needed to be expanded, and he has currently an expansion project underway at the castle. But of course, he needs guards to take care of that area while that's going on. So instead of just using his own personal guards, he had brought in extra guards from the Bronze Torch to help guard the area for him.
Okay.
Instead of expanding his own soldiers. Especially with the city already in dire need of soldiers of their own, he didn't think it would be kind of right to recruit people to work for him.
Okay.
And as Bertra shared, because Bertra has a contact with Bronze Torch, the group, the Bronze Torch had soldiers out there, but they've been pulling the more experienced ones off. And as a result, Bertra contact was having to take care of some of the issues out at Caldwell, and she spent a time going with him as he dealt with those issues.
Yeah, we're on good terms with both, as far as I remember.
Currently, yes. I say currently because I never know what you guys are going to do.
Yeah, but like family heirloom or whatever to Lord Torek, I think wasn't it just after that kind of liberation get together or something that we did?
Yes, you did. You did. You returned the family heirloom that you all had found to him. So yes, you're currently on good terms with both the Lord Torek and Lord Kincaid. And Lord Kincaid is actually the current underwriter for your tavern, as you received this as part of the contract that you took when you liberated his son's bride from a bandit.
Yeah, we have a special fondness for Lord Kincaid. I think that Coram personally feels a stronger loyalty towards Lord Kincaid. Torek needs some help or something. Coram's down for that.
Now, I know that Grun also had made some special requests of Dash over the last few days to poke into a few things, and I'll let Dash relay what he found.
Yeah, just to kind of recap real quick, I it's no secret. I would have told the entire group this, that I asked Dash to kind of investigate where and who basically got the giant gem that we freed. So go ahead, Dash.
Dash found absolutely nothing. Nah, just kidding.
Oh, damn!
Dash
I was about
will,
to rage quit.
Dash will pull you and anyone else into his office upstairs, and if anyone's interested, but he'll pull them in and start talking to you about the stone. As soon as we actually got to the sword chest plate, within an hour, They actually had already loaded it up on another wagon, and they took it outside of the city gates. My contacts kind of lost it pretty quickly after it left the city limits. But I did take some time and do some research on it. It actually appears to be a set of 4 stones. How many of you are familiar with the upheaval event that happened back in the day? Essentially, it seems like, from what I can tell in my readings, that a group of powerful mages actually built a number of these stones to try to basically control magic as a whole and, in essence, take over the world, all maniacally and stuff. They did construct a stronghold in the Burning Lands upon a major nexus point. While they were doing this, though, it kind of became a race against time, where a united force of other races and forces converged on them. Although the ritual was almost completed, they were unable to actually wield the actual power of the stones that they had started to contain. Although those mages were eventually defeated, any other mages that came to study it were unable to figure out how to break those seeds and restore magic fully. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could actually find on the stones themselves.
What's Dash's recommended course of action for our party concerning the stones? Should we pursue anything, or should we simply kind of sit back and watch?
Well, it's hard to really say. I haven't been able to figure out who actually paid for this kind of a contract. I mean, it definitely has to be one of the nobles in order to get a team that could actually finance sending a group of mercenaries to go get any of these stones, let alone all 4, plus to actually study them. They're going to have to be immensely wealthy. From what I can tell, just because the contract came through Gumtar, I'm guessing it's one of the nobles in town. On a side note, while I was researching, trying to figure out which noble it was, Lord Torix Crest actually seems to be a series of crests. So it looks like his family really was the former owners of Castle Codwell. But that crest goes back hundreds of years, just kind of like different variations.
They were called Toric or something, or is Toric the family name now, or was it not the previous?
Each one of the crests had a different name associated with it.
Okay, but all kind of we're kind of piecing that it's all kind of the same family bloodline. It's just that there is multiple names associated.
Yes.
And just so I can make sure, I guess Dash or Jason, you said the gem that we secured or freed or whatever was one of the 4 of these great magic stones that the mages built.
Correct.
Okay. And you weren't able to find out that, obviously this thing, we were told it was used by pirates before, but were we able to determine its exact powers of what this gem that we stole could do?
From what I can tell from my research, I haven't been able to find anything that says how they were controlling it. Honestly, I'm almost not sure if Pelion was using a different magic. Maybe it wasn't this stone itself. I can't imagine that if he could tap into this level of magic, he'd quit after a while. The amount of power that has to be in the stone is immeasurable. I mean, he could truly control it. I imagine he would control the entire oceans and be a lot more of a threat than he was. Not that he was exactly a small fry.
Yeah, but I thought the stories we heard was he was pretty much like he could do anything he wanted on the seas, but he eventually got to he realized it was too powerful, and that's why he hid it away. Did I get that right, Jason?
Yes, correct. And
okay.
While Dash is talking to you, he produces this parchment, which is a copy that he made of one here from one of the libraries here in the city that gives you an idea of the size of the stone that you were dealing with and the other stones of the set.
Is this something on roll 20, Jason?
Yeah. So, but our crystal wasn't shaped like that, right?
Actually, it was one of the
Oh,
four pieces.
Okay, I just thought it was like a giant boulder. I didn't realize it was like a long.
No, it was long and yeah.
Okay.
One of
All
the four. It was one of the four wedges that would make up this construction. This is what led Dash to think that you might have actually found one of the seeds of magic.
Right. So, Rand, just for you, since you're not on roll 20, it looks like it was made. The entire thing put together looks kind of like the Washington Monument, if that makes sense. Like a big four-sided tower with like a pyramid top.
That makes sense.
Oh, he put it in Discord for you. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. Okay.
See that really well in there either, but figured I'd throw it out there.
Oh, sweet. Hell yeah, I can see it. Thanks, guys.
All right, so Grunt is definitely going to share that this is potentially bad news. No one should have this much power.
Unless they're... I'll do what I can to keep researching it and see if I can find anything else out. There is always a potential that this might be somebody trying to kind of grow these seeds and let them break and restore everything.
Just one more clarification from you, Rand or Jason. You said the last known location of this thing constructed together was in the Burning Lands?
Yes.
All right, so that's definitely going to perk Grun's ears up because that was the last known location of his brother.
Correct.
Oh, I saw that hook coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, for those who want to
blue
read
one,
more
right,
about
Jason?
the lore of it, the story of the four seeds is in the Eldarin Guide that I gave you access to.
Okay. Like on Roll20, or you mean the Obsidian Portal thing?
It's on the Obsidian Portal, plus it's on the in the PDF version of the guide too.
Okay.
It was one of the
Oh
early.
man, Jason, I was just about to try to charge everyone for the book.
What'd you say, Corum?
We retrieved the blue one, correct?
Yes, you retrieved the blue one, the water.
Oh, well, obviously it was the water one. I didn't realize. Okay.
You know, it's in the diagram. And actually, if you look at that diagram, some of the pictures in the PDF guide, some of the markings in it will make more sense.
Alrighty then. Oh, before I forget, so it's been a while since we played, or at least been a while since maybe I played, but we don't know this metagame wise, but when we had the fight with the bone devil giant thing, whatever, there was someone that was afflicted with something, where basically they would turn them into a zombie, get metagame wise. Was that like done away with when Dash was resurrected, or was that somebody else?
That
No,
was.
A couple
Go ahead.
different things. Sorry, and Jason, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But so Dash was never in jeopardy of getting hit with that. That wasn't the attack that he got hit with. Corum got hit with an attack that would turn him into a wight, but that was taken away with lesser restoration from lightning.
Silence is golden.
Wait, did that not go through?
Yes. No. We heard you perfectly say silence for me is golden. I'm not correcting you. Yes.
Unless he's not correcting you, so that way later on you can become his unwitting pawn.
Yeah,
No doubt. I'm going to turn
that
into
doesn't
an
leave out
undead
an entire
now.
arc of
I have
something
no
that
idea.
happened in the jungle that a player has agreed to let happen.
Right.
We'll get to that
That's
one later.
separate.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
whole separate. Oh, and interesting enough, I do need to comment on this. Nalia, shortly after you guys returned to the city, she took care of a few odds and ends, and she departed to go back to her homeland. And she took Alvi with her.
Okay.
So she's not currently in Gumtar Stronghold with you. Now, you
Jason,
don't
I
know
disagree.
she's...
I'm pretty sure she's right upstairs right now.
Her token is, but you do not know if she used the scroll or if she made other arrangements. You just know that she came down one morning after breakfast, said farewell to you guys, and you know that the two of them left for her to go back and find out what was going on with her people. So she said something about she'd return as soon as she could.
Okay. So that would have happened at the beginning of our 10 days, the end of our 10 days, somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle. That
Okay,
would happen. Because she had a few things she had to take care of in the city herself before she could go.
So then would any of us have noticed any changes in her during that time frame?
None that you noticed, no.
Okay.
Though you do know she spent time at the temple.
At her temple?
At a temple. You
Okay.
don't know which one. You just know she went to the temple district.
Okay. And have we noticed any changes in anybody else?
Nope. Well,
Okay.
Grun's got a nice goatee going on now.
I got a goatee?
I'm just teasing.
Is it braided?
It could be.
Okay.
If you want one.
Just when I'm drinking. I'll braid it so it stays out of my beer. Alright. Anything else that I need to share? I think Jason shared with you guys. I've been promoted to a sergeant in the tally, so I got maybe some contact there. I'll share in private just with these guys, the group, about how I'm still seeing some kind of mer creatures, some kind of water creatures that are swimming in and out near the merchantman. And I have no idea if that's tied to anything else going on, but I can't find any more information about it. But there's obviously something going on. I just can't find out any more about it yet. Oh yeah, and I got gave me a cool gift. Matter of fact, I'll probably plop that out here in my office a few times. So let me kind of role play this a little bit. So anyone that's been around Grano the past 10 days, that's probably what happened towards the end of that 10 days, right? When I got my gift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first day I get it, I come prancing into the bar. I go up to the bar and I drink my usual 4 or 5 or 6 beers, ales, and I turn around and make sure everyone's watching. And I pull something out of my pocket and I flick it over into the corner, and poof, it turns into like this little outhouse. And I walk in there, and you guys all hear me do my business, and I walk out with a big old smile on my face. And how does it?
Orem is immensely pleased with whatever he just saw.
But you didn't tell me how, or maybe it's in the description. I didn't see
It's
it.
got a command word.
Okay, so you'll say the command word. It shrinks back down like a little pebble or marble. Something puts it back in his pocket.
So it shrinks down to a miniature of itself.
Is this Grun's magical latrine? Can we please call it that?
It's called Darren's Instant Privy. I'm sure Grun will give it a nickname sooner or later.
Dash is instantly going to tell you can't do that in the bar area. At least walking to the back.
This is my office. It's my office. I can do what I want in my office.
And you're going to scare away the patrons.
Yeah, let me
bar.
describe this to you real quick. When Grun flips it out and says the command word, this metal outhouse appears.
Oh, it's metal?
Yes, it's actually titanium.
Oh, okay, that's right. I remember you telling me that. So adamantine.
Yeah, adamantine. So this metal outhouse appears, but it still has like the patterns of wood and loose boards on it. It has a cutout in the door that Grun can look out the door while he's in the bathroom. And of course, it shrinks back down to figurine size for him to put it back in his pocket.
Magic item.
What's that, Quorum?
This is my new favorite magic item.
I figured you guys would be ecstatic about this, no matter where I put it. That's better than pissing off the balcony next to my room.
Actually,
right
it's
above
not.
the entrance.
Stay out of it. Stay out of anywhere where we serve food.
Except for the balcony over his room would be over the front door of the bar.
I noticed that a
No,
long
I
time
put in
ago.
a gutter. It's fine. He doesn't know about the gutter. It's fine.
It's like a 2-foot wide gutter around the balcony.
Yeah, have you seen him? His aim's horrible.
Oh, Corum knows his aim very well.
Probably better than.
Bertram just wonders where it all goes.
Grun's like, I never thought about that. Oh well, don't care. What else as far as Grun? He would have shared with you guys. Remember when we met that group heading south towards Grumtorum, and I asked him about a warhorse where I can buy one. He told me where I can get them, so I didn't buy one yet, but I would have told you guys the same thing, that you can get a warhorse for 500 gold, unarmored, or if you want one that's fully armored, you can get one for 2,000.
Now, do we still have access to like Lord Kincaid's
Yeah.
mounts for a
Yes.
year, or no?
Yes, you have access to those. Those are part of the, actually those are permanently yours. Those are part of the contract you signed with him.
Yeah, but they weren't
That's what I
warhorses.
thought, man. Corum's feeling some Lord Kincaid love. I mean, that guy has been awesome.
He's basically buying us. You realize that, right?
I'm all down for that. Corum's like everything but bends over. You know what I'm saying?
But just loves
Say
a
it,
rhino.
sorry, Marcus.
Oh, Bertrand loves a rhino and is now thinking of how to armor it.
Oh dear.
I'm assuming I didn't see any armored rhinos at the stable I went to, right?
No, that's something that Birch would have to commission.
That's what I thought.
AC-26 Rhino comes barreling through.
Though I did actually see a really cool picture of a rhino today. I should have grabbed a screen grab and sent it to you guys. If I can't find it later. It was taken with a remote camera, shot down low on the ground, and the rhinos walked toward the camera. Anyway, sorry, photographer geek moment. So yeah, each one of you spent time with your trainers and trained up your skills and all those kind of things. And as you're sitting in the tavern that evening, and following the night wanes, the next day begins, and you decide as a group to go somewhere in the city that day, get something started here. And as you're walking out of the tavern itself, and you see, as it's becoming not so much in the district you're in, but in other parts of the city, you see them going around with the carts, picking up the bodies of the undead that was killed overnight to carry them out of the city, along with the other garbage. And as you walk out as a group, there's 3 or 4 of you together there, you hear a call of a raven. You look up, and there's a cast iron sign outside the tavern called that denotes, is the laughing dragon and all that. And there's this huge, and he kind of looks at the group, and he goes, caw towards you, and then he flies up, and you notice around the area there's more ravens than usual this morning. And as you're walking down the street as a group, headed off to whatever you're going to do that morning, your oddball errands are that you're out to do as a group. And let's see, let's roll. Who we got here? We got Grun. 3 of you actually in chat, so I'll use 3 of you.
You can put. I just might have to. I'm telling you guys, this is probably my favorite session ever, based upon just having fun. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Okay. So, as you're walking down the street, that morning, the 3 or 4 of you together, you hear the raven call, and Grun, you feel something hit the top of your head.
Oh. I mean, can I tell
Not a
what it is?
Run.
Well, you look up when you see the raven go over, and it almost looks like it's snickering at you as it flies off.
How far away is it?
Oh, it's maybe 20, 30 foot off.
Oh, damn it. Too far for my lightning. Us by the rage.
So, but as you reach up to wipe off said mess, there's nothing there.
What?
There's nothing on you. And you look down at the ground, kind of confused, and there's a scroll laying.
Oh, so it didn't shit on me. Okay, that's a relief. So it dropped a scroll on me?
You dropped a scroll.
All right, so I'm going to kind of somewhat stealthily, if that even is such a thing for a Minotaur, kind of pick it up, because I'm in the street, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to kind of pick it up and kind of pocket it under my
Okay.
my tunic, because I don't want to have any other.
Okay.
And then I'll
Jason, who's
either.
there? You said the three of you.
Yeah, it's Quorum and Dash and Bertra and Grun walking down the street together.
Got it.
So I'll look for like either an alleyway or private place. I'm not in the street.
Okay.
And I'll kind of motion the other folks I'm with to kind of follow me.
Okay.
And I'll open up the scroll and read it once I get a good spot.
Can Minotaurs read?
Right. I'll hand it to.
Thank
Depends
you.
on what language it is.
And it should now be on your screen.
Wanted.
Verbal translation is appreciated.
Sorry. Sorry, Quorum.
Let Grun do it. Braille inventors. re something board list appreciate
Bender, please take over.
Lewing
No, Grun has got this.
Lewing fur jut the rigget cute to saw it. Okay, this is too painful. Go ahead, Dash.
Brave adventures wanted. Are you bored, listless, unappreciated, looking for just the right quest to suit your finely honed talents? Plenty of golden treasure for all. So Demetrius the Sage, 1.5 miles east of Morid, the morass. Apply in person. No message bottles accepted. Basically, if you guys want to go make some gold on the side, it sounds like some dude's hiring.
Let's
Oddly
do
enough,
it.
out by the morass. Just be careful when you guys go out that way.
Grun's going to take the note back and start looking at it again. Figure out where he screwed up.
While Grun's doing
We
that,
can practice later, Grun.
I will switch to the world. Get you centered on Gumtar. Eventually here. There you go. I'm finding Gumtar now.
Very disgruntled with me. She goes, "What are you doing out here?" I said, "Playing D&D and drinking wine." And then she stormed off all angry. So I don't know what's going on. She was just asleep.
Go. Couple things on the map to you. This is something that Dash would probably know. As a photographer. Morford is not nearby. Yeah, Morford is on the other side of the Fangs. Local name given to two small croppings of mountains to the northeast of here, past the jungles. Actually resides in a region. Leave that you're still in the Iron Hole, but it's in a different here in this area. Yes, Morford. Something it, but Morford is way up here.
Yeah, it's closer. That's closer to my old stomping grounds.
Actually, yes, it is.
That's a shitload way to go for some money. I don't think we can get there by boat.
City, it's pretty damn far.
Well, if you remember,
It's
Jason,
further than
So like the whole continent we're on is kind of like a peninsula, little section we're on. We're like way on the far, I guess, west side.
No, east side. Like east side of the main water area. Is that what you...
As you're looking at the entire map of the continent, Gumtar Stronghold is way over to the far west coast.
Correct.
And then where I'm from, Beach Castle is on the far east coast. And Morad is about... and Beach Castle. So it's way the F over there. Yeah, there you go.
Morford is further away than we were from Courtcliff.
Yeah.
Courtcliff is a tiny jaunt compared to Morford, which is the deep northeast from where we are.
Just at a rough estimate, and this is something that Dash would be able to spit out to them. If you traveled the roads, you're looking at about 18 days travel. Get there.
That's not as bad as I expected, but so here's, and I'll let you guys kind of decide what you want to do, but Quorum's standpoint is, if the undead keep cropping up, I think that it's the thing that he deems the most worthy, action step that they need to take. Quorum's thinking that it would protect their interests, keep their tavern going, keep the city of Gumtar safe, things like that. But it's completely up to you guys.
Yeah, but that's what the temples in the tally are for.
Yeah, part of me is like, Grun's like, holy shit, that's a long ways away. And, sorry, Jess, I asked a dumb question. Where is the Burning Lands on this map?
On this map, you won't see it, actually. Let me switch it to the world map.
Oh, shit. Okay, no, that's cool. If it's not on this continent, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not on this continent at all.
Okay.
We had
actually, I'll switch just...
get to the Burning Lands in the other campaign, I think.
Yeah, but you also... Yeah. Well, also in the interim, I actually realized I had the scale script on the maps. Gotta fix this one, too.
I guess you're gonna have to do a shift click on this map too.
Yeah, 1 sec.
For that one off, you kind of just like poof, you know.
Well, you use the transit circle to get down there. Yeah, I think I got that fixed. But now let's see here. I'm going to shift click first where Gumtar is.
Other side of the planet, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Helps to actually get on the controllers to shift click. There we go. Gumtar is right all the way, but if you zoom out, you will discover that
holy shit,
the Burning Lands way to the west.
Wow.
Sure that the scale changes did take effect. They did. Okay.
1,200 miles.
Yeah.
Across lots of ocean.
Yes.
All right. Assuming that's how we get there.
Well, that's the usual way you have to get there, unless you have some kind of magic transport, which, as those who were in that adventure will know, there are transit circles out there, but they're not cheap.
Okay. All right. So in the grand scheme of things, going to more for a tiny step versus one giant leap. Huh!
Oh yeah, there we go. Nice moon reference.
Yeah, for Minotaur kind.
Yes, because Burning Lands is way far to the west. So I did realize I made a mistake in the scales on. I'll have to double check, make sure everything's fixed now. But
all right, so from a story standpoint, I gotta believe Jason wouldn't put this out here if we weren't supposed to go there. From a character standpoint, Grun's like, I don't give a shit about Morford. I've heard news of my brother in Burning Lands, and now these giant gyms are somehow tied. And a load of it's like secondary overall styles. Was there anything in there that really would pique Grun's interest as to actually doing it?
So just because I think it's funny, while you guys are all saying you want to stay here, and now that I've given up Dash and moved to the new character, that whole Morford thing would be 100% up Dash's thing. he'd be chomping at the bit to go. But so it's just funny because now Dash is staying for sure.
And here's the bad part: that the Morford arc was written in the campaign to entice Dash to go.
Like specifically for Dash.
Yeah, it was written in the campaign back before we started, before Dash's unfortunate incident.
Dash isn't gone.
Thanks.
I mean, so Bender, I get it, man. I get you like creating a new character, and I love the realism of like the fact that like, okay, you died, maybe that character should just retire, and I love the fact that we get to keep Dash as an whether it's a PC, NPC, or some kind of weird hybrid. You know, at the same time, is it possible to kind of run both if we do that, or I mean, are we going into uncharted waters if we do something like that?
And if this is key to us meeting Dash's new character, metagame wise, then I'm all for it.
Agreed. I mean, I'm not. If we go this way and our player characters are able to encounter someone else, or it works out well for the group as a whole, let's do it.
And
Dash's reason for staying is going to be simply that his calling right now is with the new faith he has. And you're right, the undead around town is probably something to be wary of. But if you guys are interested in looking elsewhere, Dash can look at care of things back here. Because like you said, that's the whole purpose of the church and the tally. Churches are meant to fight the undead, so
I'm down with
Plus
that.
undead
Let's do
really
it.
suck.
Let's take that and run with it. And with Dash holding down the fort, Corum feels a lot better about going out and adventure.
so, 2 questions for Jason. Demetrius the Sage, is he actually in Morford, or is he here in town? Or was it like find out from him more details?
Based on that note, he's in Morford.
Holy shit! Because the logic in Brian, not Grun, says, why the f would we travel so far on something that has so little detail? You know, it doesn't tell us what we're doing, what we're looking for, how long it's going to take, you know, what it pays. We have no information other than just some random raven dropped a note on my head.
we're going to get out there. It's going
All
to be
we
10
needed
gold.
to say, I have
10
your
gold
brother
for
in
this.
Morford, and Grun would be there in character.
Do what?
All we need is the Raven's note to have said, I have your brother in Morford, and Grun would be
Yeah.
there in character.
Yes, I would. 100%.
And now you
So-
see why I create these wonderful gray things for you guys to debate.
I mean, could we ask Mac if he's got something on the way to Morford?
That's a good idea. And do we even know of a quicker way to get to Morford other than riding for 18 days on some horses? And a rhino.
I mean, it looks like we could take the river up to Wyvernholt at the very least.
I'm trying to find Wyvernholt. Where's that at on the... Oh, okay. That's the big
Dude,
city right in the center. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to find out what's the most feasible method to getting to Morford. But I guess, I'm just thinking from Grun's standpoint, he's probably still going to ask around his fellow sergeants or whatever within the tally what their comfort level is on this whole undead thing. If they think it's getting worse, if they got it handled, you know, what are they thinking? If he leaves for 18 days, is he going to come back to an undead city, or is it just a nuisance?
Right now, it's they feel it's more of a nuisance thing, but it's getting a lot of interest from the nobles, which is getting them money and better gear and better equipment. So they think they got it handled, but they do note that, you know, even though they seem to clear out the undead every night and the churches is working with them as to do it as well and checking the crypts, it's a nightly thing. They're not sure where they're coming from. I mean, they know where they're physically coming from, but they're not how they're being every night like this. And a nightly thing, right now on average, the city is destroying anywhere from 20 to 50 zombies a night.
So I gotta imagine that Lightning, she's the grave cleric or something with dead. I know that. So has she discovered anything pertaining to this?
Lightning has actually been working and has actually went on some of the night hunts with the tally and the churches.
Okay. But she has no more information or inkling of what could be causing this or any...
Right now, the churches are working on a. Initially, the general hold within the churches was that it was probably a fledgling necromancer, didn't understand their power, kind of thing. But they keep cropping up in a way that doesn't match with a necromancer, so the church is now leaning toward a vampire, possibly, or some kind of undead in the region that's causing this problem.
Great.
But the church itself is not really sure.
And has the undead been primarily towards the north, towards the south, all over?
They're coming from the crypts
Oh, within the actual city itself.
within the city itself.
Okay. All right.
Now, they are being encountered outside the city too, but the ones that the city's primarily having trouble with are their own dead coming back to life.
Yeah, kind of like we discovered on our first few adventures, I guess, together, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, guys. Other discussions? What do you guys? What do you guys want to do? What's your thoughts?
I'd like to know how far up north actually the war is. For that's up north, and I'm just wondering if we have to pass through some towns that are contested.
Yeah, and what's going on at Castle Caldwell? I mean, so Corb kind of wants to get some information on that too. I mean, is that something we get on the way?
Bertrand knows some stuff about that.
Do share.
Well, apparently Torque's not seen around the castle much, but it's under renovation and he's adding a second story, so that's not exactly out of the ordinary. And he's arranging a bunch of hunts and stuff for a number of his friends.
Hunts being, what do you mean by that?
I don't know, it just he's game warden, so I'm assuming bears, boars.
Okay. There's local beasts. Not like doing an undead hunting party or something like that. That's where I was going with that.
I don't know. You know, nobles, want to test their might and stuff.
Sounds like a fool to me.
Yes, and it's
So party vote, can we rule that one out?
Rule that one out as far as us following up with it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm taking this as kind of like the messages and outlook, and we need to figure out which ones are the action steps and which ones aren't.
Well, what's all close? What's in the immediate area that we could look into right now? And then
Okay.
It's just the undead right now. That's the most pressing thing.
yes, and the tally. Your friends in the tally feel that they have that between them and what the church is doing. They feel they have that under control. It's not horrible. It's just when you got to tell the general citizen, the sun goes down, you might want to shut your door and lock it, and not because of some sneak thief coming in and stealing your stuff. Dash, but rather
I never steal from the poor.
But rather, there might be a zombie walking down the street that might want to eat your brains.
Well, my vote is from a personal, I guess, Brian standpoint. I want to do whatever gets us to meet Dash's new character first. From a grunt standpoint, I'd probably go with Bertra's suggestion of talking to Mac to see if there's any other jobs towards Morford.
Okay.
Give us another reason to go there, but I would definitely want to spend at least a day or two maybe investigating some more of these undead things with Lightning's help, whether it's a vampire or the city or whatever.
We've never really approached Mac for quests, like saying, hey, by the way, we're headed to Morford. You got anything on the way? I like that idea a lot. That was good.
That actually seems like a really good idea.
All right. So after an evening discussion or some time of discussing back and forth, you venture over to the store chest plate, which you still all frequent fairly regularly, even though you got your own bar. You still go over and hang out. Particularly Cora. You're brought in to the tavern, and as usual, you claim a set of seats, and it isn't long after you're there then you see the familiar yellow and orange robes of Arden approaching, and Arden appears. Arden's still a little bit hard to get used to. A bald elf, just kind of a bit offsetting. Wearing silks, but it's really not the baldness of Arden that offsets you. It's the intricate tattoos that cover his body. I mean, he's bald, and you know he's bald because you physically stand there and you see him. But his head, down his neck, are all covered with intricate vine tattoos. That has a grapevine, and each one of the grapevine leaves appear to have something written. And they even appear to kind of flow in a breeze, like they're real. When he approaches, are you here to check on work? We haven't sent for you. How may I be of service?
Just need to talk to any potential job he's got towards the north. We're heading that direction, so trying to kill two birds with one stone.
You headed north? Toward the contested land?
Well, northeast.
Northeast. Very well. Now, just as a note, because we're on the map, I'll draw a line real quick. It's not an exact line, so actually, if you check the map on the website, you can actually see the regions. And of course, I grabbed the wrong one. The contested lands are more, draw a yellow rectangle, more in that area than where you're headed.
Okay.
Actually, where the big fighting going on right now is in Springmead and Byland and Miss Meadow, right in there. That's where most of the contesting is going on right now. He goes, so where are you headed to again?
Well, that's for us to discuss with Mac. I don't think I want to make that just public knowledge. It's not retrieval business.
I understand. Let me see if Master Mac is in. He did have an engagement this evening, but he may have returned by now. One moment, please. And Arden disappears. He's gone about 5 or 10 minutes. Enough time for you guys to have at least one quick round of drinks. He appears, kind of glides in again.
At our northeast table.
Yeah, you're sitting at your normal table. Yeah, you're sitting at your normal table. And he kind of glides back up the table and goes, Master Mac will see you now. Leads you up the familiar stairs and into the blue carpeted office of Mac. 3 or 4 of you that come in there, and Mac sitting in his chair. It is a sight that you've now gotten used to seeing, this halfling. And he was thinking, what do you want? Didn't call for you.
Calm down, little man. We're just providing our services. We're heading north. Don't know if you got anything that we can take care of while we're on our way north.
North? Where you going north?
He lets out a loud sigh. Up north towards... Just
I have to know if I want to give you a job.
Going up in... What's those 2 mountains ranges? They have names? I don't want to give them the name.
They're called the Fangs.
Okay.
They're locally called the Fangs.
Okay, so up between past the Fangs.
Oh, you're going past the Fangs. You're not going home, are you?
I don't know. I might stop off there for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back.
I figured you'd come back. Oh, let's see. What do I have? Which way are you planning to go? Are you going to go? Are you taking the road? Where are you going?
Well, don't we have to take the road? There is no river that runs between the Fangs, right?
No, but you could take the river as far as Wivenholt.
Well, if you're the I don't know. Does anybody here an expert on that stuff, or would Grun know this since he traveled from Beach Castle?
If you have a job in either direction, it might sway where we're going.
I understand
Where
now.
they're
You, one moment, let me see. He starts flipping. He starts going through papers and folders and looks up at you. I got one thing. It's not much. It's just a courier job. I was going to send one of the new parties out on it.
Well, it's on the way.
Yeah, where is it at?
Well, it's going to take you up to Brightbrook. Which means you have to go, not really out of your way, but you'd be on the road instead of the river. Brightbrook, Bright Glass, to the northeast Bright Glass.
That seems doable. That seems doable, Quorum says.
Okay.
Would Grun know how many more days that would add to our trip? If I had to go on that route instead of the river?
It really wouldn't. The river might cut 2 or 3 days off your trip because you got to go upriver.
Okay.
You're not going downriver, unfortunately. So
we all know how Grun is. Grun's going to suggest anything on the water.
Yes, I do have that. If you're interested, it's not much. It's just a small courier job.
What does it pay?
I told you it's not much. Not something I normally offer you guys. You on the upper end of the pay scale. It's only 100 gold apiece for your full party.
Grun's not interested because it's not on the river.
Based off my previous experiences, I think Grun probably might be right. I can't believe I'm saying that. But you guys,
Dash is going with us? All right.
Dash is not coming with.
Oh, okay.
My faith will keep me here for a while yet.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Quorum will default to Grun at this point.
Okay. Because that's all I really got. I'm sorry. Our service doesn't really have much courier work. That's all I really got.
Do you have contacts in Livenholt?
Livenholt? I got a few old friends up there, but that's about it.
Okay.
Nice town.
And Jason, the retrieval service, is that specific just to Gumtar Stronghold, or are there other
Yes. No, it's specific to
Okay.
Gumtar Stronghold at this point.
Okay. And do I know, or does anybody here know of anything similar that's in Wivenholt? I mean, are we in danger by going to Wivenholt for any weird reason?
No.
Okay.
Wivenholt's just one of the Wivenholt. You would have known this, Grun, because you kind of traveled that way, and since you favors the water, you probably went. You actually probably crossed through past Morford down through Fayhurst, Rotburn into Wivenholt, and probably took the boats from Wivenholt to Gumtar as you arrived.
Okay.
You would know that the Wivenholt's big claim to fame. It's kind of like Gumtar. It's mainly it was originally a dwarven
city,
settlement. Right? Yes, it's a major city in the region. It's a large city, but thing that makes Wivenholt stand out, and like here it's the waterfall. The thing that makes Wivenholt stand out is Wivenholt's city guard are mounted on wyverns.
Oh.
Oh, I want one.
Well,
Wivenholt is also one of the few cities here on the coast. Wivenholt, Oakhurst, occasionally Gumtar, but Wivenholt and Oakhurst are two of the cities that still receive airship services. There's still a few airships out there.
Sorry,
two of the cities that airships travel.
which two?
Wivenholt
So
and
Grun loves
Oakhurst.
water and hates land, and he despises airships? Just following a logic.
I don't know. But I'm sorry, I missed Jason. Is it just travel from like major cities with these ships, or did you say?
It's only in Oakhurst. They actually have dedicated docking pylons for airships.
Okay,
there,
Livenholt
just
and Althurst. Okay.
Yeah. Whereas they do occasionally visit other cities like Gumtar. And you haven't seen one, but you've heard of airships coming but they have to be tied down off a tower or something. There's not docking facilities here for them, so it's a little bit more difficult for them to work here.
Okay. So taking an airship from Wyvern to Osthurst won't really help us get to our destination sooner, but I'm assuming there's not anything that goes from Wyvenholt to Beach Castle by air.
Not by air, no.
Okay. All right. Okay.
True. But how if we caught one at an opportune time at Guntar, could save some time, get to Wyvenholt.
You're right there. The problem is, though, there's not a regular service going to Gumtar. Someone has to charter one for it to come to Gumtar.
And does Matt know what this normally, what it costs for someone to take this airship?
As a passenger?
Yeah.
I say,
I'm down for the river grunt.
because you want to take an airship as a passenger. Remember gold orbs I offered you for taking that package?
Yeah.
Multiply that by, well, 10.
Damn.
Passengers on airships are expensive. It's noble stuff. Now, cargo different, but it's still more expensive. But flying in the air is a bit safer. I mean, you only got to worry about flying things. Since dragons aren't that common. Well, around here anyway.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. How common are dragons?
In this region, not very common at all.
Although I did hear a rumor of one in the Moonlit Morass, but hopefully you guys don't find yourselves over that way. There's a lot of dangers that way.
Is that to the west?
That's
actually, that's to the north of Morford.
North of Morford.
Yeah, it's the Moonlit Morass.
Yeah.
Morford's actually right on the edge of the morass.
Well, it's a good thing airships don't go to Morford then.
No, dragons aren't. I mean, they're not unheard of, but they're not a common sight anywhere in the world. At
Are wyverns that
wyverns are not that rare. No, they're much.
okay?
But a full-blown, intelligent speaking dragon, any of the chromatics or
Right.
out of game, meta speaking, any of the chromatics, any of the metallics. They're not rare, but they're more on the uncommon kind of creature that you would encounter.
Okay.
So they're more rare than.
Yes.
I
Okay.
imagine though
That
there's quite a few from where Bertra comes from.
Yeah, there was quite a few in the mountains. Most of them were small, and you all either tended to avoid them when you could, but you also weren't dastardly afraid of the young ones. Now, the older ones, that's a whole different story.
So is Bertra from the Fangs?
She's not from the Fangs. Bertra hails from much further north. Bertra would actually think the Fangs are a joke for a mountain range.
Way out of his league. He's like from the far northwest, like across the whole sea. So when you say west coast, he's thinking far east. That's I want to clarify, my earlier statement. So he's like East Coast. What?
Yeah, we're talking San Francisco versus New York.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. Not quite that many miles though.
Possibly more. It's up to Jason.
We never quite nailed down exactly which city to the far to the east of here he's from.
He's like way up there. Shit, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like Shadow Lake.
Yeah, he's. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I said airships are expensive now. I'd love we had one in town because that would expand the business. You know what I'm saying?
Well, out of character, I think we're all in agreement that that's too much for us to even consider. I'm assuming we're going to all agree to take the river to Ivanholt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would give us a chance to go to Strongmere and Ostburn. And I really want to see those dragons. Oh, well, wyverns. Sorry.
Those dragons. So this,
Hey, Mac.
Jason.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, Jason, I was gonna say. So this is a route that Grun's taken before, then, right?
Yeah, he's somewhat familiar with it. Yeah.
Okay, so he would be somewhat familiar with. I'm assuming they would have the trip from Wyvenholt to Gumtar. They would have had stops in Ostburn and Strong.
The river here is more wide. The river that you're looking at is more wide than deep. And actually, yes, there are boats on it, but think more like the mule teams on the canals here. Well, sorry, not everybody's from the U.S. Think about a mule team on a canal boat type of situation, or pole boats where they would pole up the rivers.
Oh shit! So does that mean it's even slower than like taking the road?
Wouldn't be slower because you're not dealing with all the other congestion, but it's not going to be any faster than it would be if he was on foot.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm assuming that Grun's still going to be proficient in those type of water vehicles too, or is it more ocean stuff?
Ocean-going stuff, though. A boat's a boat.
Okay.
It wouldn't take Grun long to be comfortable enough to know how it works. His problem might come in more in the animal handling issue if it's an actual mule.
So that's what I'm confused about. Mule drawn, like they control like paddles or something. Is that what you mean?
No. Okay. A canal boat. The mules are tied to the boats, and they walk along a path along the edge of the river or the stream, and pull the boat along with them.
Oh shit! I don't like the sound of that at all.
Well, what about something like I just showed in the image there, like a wherry? That's what we used.
Yeah, that's what Grun's talking about.
That you could, yeah, and there are ships or boats like that do pass up and down the river. Just there are some places that are really shallow and they would have trouble with. But
we got
like
Archer, we got Lightning. They're strong. They can get out and pull the boat.
And it's not so much that. I mean, there's channels and that they could navigate and get you up there, and it would get you up and back. The bigger problem would be for a vessel like that. Easily from here to Strawmere would not be a problem. From Strawmere to Osborne probably wouldn't be a problem. From Osborne to Wiver would be mule boat. Pardon me. Just depends on what's available when you get there.
Mule boats, or we walk, a ride.
Right, and you notice too, there is a road that travels from Osborne to Wivenholt through the jungle. However, there is not a road that directly connects Gumtar to Strongmere or Osborne. To get to Strongmere from Gumtar, you would have to go north to Brightglass and then go south to Strongmere, or you would have to go down toward High Griffin and make that turn nearby where you dealt with the Oliver's people at High Griffin, swing up toward Osborne there.
Okay. So would Grun's, I guess, travel from Wyvenholt to Grumtar been with all those pooled things?
He may have. Well, downriver's not that hard. They could use pole boats for that matter. Pull all the mules up the boat. Now you do remember there being mules on the boats, and a lot of times they were using poles to pole down the river. So it's probably as they were mule boats going back when they go up, but pulling them down.
Okay. All right. Well, Grun's going to be the first one to suggest that if we ever get to the point where we got to rely on mules on banks to pull us up the river, that he's not going to be for that. So his suggestion would be to take whatever boat we can that's not mule powered up the river to at least Osborne, and then we travel the rest of the way on horses or whatever through the jungle to Wyvenholt.
I goes, as much as I like your company, are you going to plan your entire trip in my office?
Well, I figured you might add something important or helpful.
Yeah. Get in my office.
Actually, Mac, before we leave, have you ever heard of or any of your contacts or dealings ever have to deal with Demetrius in Morford?
Demetrius? That old sage?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of him. He specializes in healing magics.
Interesting. Do you know, is he very likely to pay well for a job well completed?
Demetrius? Hey, he's not poor. He ain't rich either. But if he's got work, he might be worth talking to. Not often he... How do you know about Demetrius? Kind of see a shift in his demeanor as he goes, wait a minute.
Well, you could kind of say his name kind of fell out of the sky for us, so.
Fell out of the sky. How do names fall out of the sky? Some kind of tabaxi talk?
It's some magic stuff, you know.
Magic stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I have heard of him. Haven't much dealing with him. He helped out a few years back with some of those Black Flame people.
Black Flame.
Well, even there's
Do any of us know of Black Flame?
give me a Dash. Give me a. Actually, you can't give me, can you? Because you don't have access to a sheet right now. Except,
Yeah, I really can't.
You just roll D20 and add some modifier to it.
Yeah, it's just easy for me to go ahead and give him access to Dash's sheet real quick.
Dash can roll on Quorum for history or something.
Yeah.
Well, but Dash would actually get an advantage because of background.
Ah, come on.
There we go.
Dash, I can't help but feel like you're getting pulled back in as Dash. Or Bender.
There you go, Ben. You have access to Dash's sheet
I can
again.
see his bio and info, and that's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I just gave it to you, so I can roll.
Okay. Hey, if I keep this up, I might get access to everybody's character sheet by the end of tonight. I don't know if you heard this, but yeah.
But actually on chat right now. Okay. Anybody else that wants to make a history check can do so as well, by the way.
I'm not going to do any better than that.
There was a cult a few years back, like 10, 20 years back, I think, called the Cult of the Black Flame. And they were up around and actually in Morford. And they got pretty powerful for a while, but eventually something happened and they were run out of time. And supposedly they went to and had built a temple outside of Morford and were using that temple. And something happened in Morford and the people of Morford run them out of the region. Since that time, the Cult of the Black Flame has not been heard of that much. However, there has been rumors lately that it has resurfaced in a city in the south, not in this region, but much further south. The big thing about the Cult of the Black Flame that Dash knows about would be literally they possess some kind of magic, that a magic flame that burnt you without actually physically burning. And those flames appeared black, which is how they got their name.
Is that why they got run out?
Yeah, apparently, what Dash remembers with that role, it had something to do with recruiting the children, some of the wealthy nobles' kids in the city or something, and this basically, the nobles turned against them and ran them out. Yeah, he had some dealings in that with the Black Flame a few years back, but other than his healing, now he has some good healing magic, is my understanding. Hard to come by in this region, no. But that's about all I know about him. I haven't dealt with him directly or personally.
Corm, did you have something too? Same time I did? Hello?
Oh, sorry about that. No, I think we would defer to dashes. Is all I was saying. I'm relying in on Bender to kind of roll history checks and stuff for Quorum while I'm off.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything else we need to do to prepare for a trip to Wyvenholt? This is out of character. I don't know if Grunt or anybody else would know anything else we do preparation-wise.
Quorum likes Grunt's idea of taking the river to Wyvernhold this time, and then from there heading northeast to our destination.
Or Grunt, we can take a ship all the way around the other side and port in Beach Castle, and then take the short road from Beach Castle to Morford.
Quorum is no longer in favor of Grunt's.
I'm assuming longer of a trip.
Let's see here. Let's see. There's 320 some miles. 180 miles to Stonehall.
Yeah.
325 next point, which doesn't have a city. It'd be light fog, I guess. 330s. About 3 times the distance to do that.
We can't ride our horses 24/7. But anyway,
this is true. But then, even once you got to Beach Castle, to take the road from Beach Castle down, the apparently had 40 some miles, or you go to up to Wilddale, 50 some miles, and another facility look at 140 miles from Beach. That's
But
how
if
you
you
get
don't
there
go
is
to that
up to
little
you.
unnamed town, you'll never find my new character.
okay. All right, so we're in agreement. Take the river as far as we can towards Wyvenholt.
Meet Dash's new guy.
Okay.
So as you all start, back at the Laughing Dragon, as you're all finalizing plans and deciding who all's going and things like that. That's when Dash kind of says, "You guys realize he kind of leans back and a little bit goes, you ain't got a clue where you're going, do you? I mean, roughly, but can you get from here to Wyvenholt, Grunt?
Well, I came from Wyvenholt to here, so why not?
Okay. From Wyvenholt, can you get to Morford?
It's just between the fangs, right? I can read a map. I'm not that dumb.
I didn't say you were dumb. I said, can you get there? And from Fayhurst to Morford, are you going to carry all your supplies?
What supplies are we taking other than what we need?
Yeah, but are you going to carry all your supplies, all your food? Or are you going to hunt for food?
I could probably hunt for food.
He
I
shakes.
I did on the way here, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. But you also had me right with the map, making sure you got it.
Oh, he came with me from Beach Castle?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
When it was says, I don't trust you all not to get where you're going without someone.
What are you suggesting? We get a guide?
Yes.
Nice hook. I like that.
You need a guide.
What, do you have someone in mind?
Let me make some inquiries. I think I can find you somebody. Has this been this fresh face?
Bender.
I've never heard anybody named Bender. I never heard of anybody named Bender. But there's this new guy that came in with Lord Torik's people. His father's the gamekeeper out there. He might be willing to accompany you all and see that you all can where you're going.
What's it going to cost us? Because I can run a boat and I can drive a wagon. So far, that's all we need.
What are you going to need when you get there?
When we get where?
To Morford.
I don't know. We're going to meet the Dimitri guy, and he'll tell us how we can become rich or whatever.
You can become rich or whatever. Okay. So let me make some inquiries. I think I know a fellow that we could send with you, and probably all he'd want is a share. He can have the share I'd normally have.
And now, is this Mac we're talking to? Who is this?
No, this is Bender.
No,
Or
it's
not
Dash.
It's
The Dash.
not Bender.
Not Bender. See, you got me doing it too, damn it. I think I know a fellow. When you guys want to pull out of here? Tomorrow, the next day,
Well, I guess.
tonight?
Were we going to do anything about the undead, guys? Any kind of cursory investigation, or are you guys ready to go to Ravenholt and do this thing?
It sounds like I mean you guys have reiterated that the tally and the our clergy is taking care of the undead. I'm okay with ignoring it if that's the case. Corum will believe you. He has no reason to doubt you.
Okay. All right, so I guess go contact this guy. We'll see how soon we can leave.
I'll make some inquiries. I'll let you know in the morning.
All right.
So the night passes. Typical late morning as Corum comes wandering in after spending his night entertaining both here and at other taverns around the city. Grun gets up, wanders downstairs, and as he wanders downstairs into the tavern, bring the tavern.
Well, I got to pop tiny outhouse out first before I go downstairs. But yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have too much fun with that. I knew you'd enjoy that when I saw when I was going through. I was like, he's going to have too much fun. As you journey into the tavern, you find drawn two of them at the table because people around. This way. Find Lucky and Dash standing at the bar. Talking with an elf. And as you appear, Grun, Bircher's not too far behind you. As you all come into the bar from the outside, because there's actually not a direct entry from your all's quarters into here. You got to go around the building to get in. As you come in the door, you hear Dash say, there they are now. Motions for you all to come over and goes, found you a guide. He'll take you as far as Morford. Wait for you to come back. Or he'll go with you if you want him to. You have to work those details out with him. His name's Corin.
No way. Did he choose that name?
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
He had no clue either.
Wow.
He had no clue either.
Did you tell him?
Nope.
All right, so I got a break from the
like Quarin.
almost missing by one letter. So okay, we got a break from the adventure for a second. So Bender, in my campaign, a guy that's doing this since like session 2, that just retired like about a month or two ago. Windleaf. He was an elf. He was a monk, but he was like a wood elf, and just man, that is weird. So good job.
That's kind of the same reaction I got from Jason. Not for that reason, but for something else. But once I proposed my new character, he was asking me if I had access to his notes. So apparently, I'm spot on right now.
Okay, like a long lost brother of Quarren, Quarion. How do you say his name?
Just Q. Q works.
No, I want
Tenere.
like Quarion. Okay, or Quarion. Okay, a little bit different.
Discord.
Okay.
So this is
Yeah, it's posted
Quarian.
in Discord.
Q. Wow. Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to sidetrack. That was awesome.
That's okay. I knew you was going to get a reaction from you too. I cannot wait to hear their response when they hear his name. So this is Quarren. Quarian. I always butcher it. But
Yeah,
Well, you're
should just
stuck
call
on the
me
Corin on the other one.
yeah, this is Quarian. He can help you get from here to here. He's pretty handy with that bow of his, amongst other things.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I just whatever will take me out of the city. I just don't really like being in big cities. But I can hunt, I can cook, I can even do a little to make sure you guys don't poison yourself and eat something you shouldn't. But I can get you pretty much anywhere you're going.
So is he elf? Can we tell, or
You can go ahead and describe him there, Bender.
He is a wood elf. Long hair, a little bit of a scraggly beard, classic pointed ears, red hair, grayish eyes.
Red beard. Does the carpet match the drapes?
oh gosh,
I guess there's no one way for somebody to find out, and I don't think your charisma is quite that high.
Careful, that can be a challenge to him.
Maybe, but
So
no
how
matter how
does
high you roll, I don't think it's gonna work.
His charisma's pretty high.
stop? Q? How do you and Dash know each other?
He actually just reached out to my employer. I work for one of the nobles, and my family kind of owes them a debt, and just trying to find a way to work off some of that debt.
Remember those hunts that Bircher was telling you about?
Ah, so there was your hook. Sorry, we didn't follow that one.
No, that's okay, because you just have us to guess. Remember those hunts that Bircher was telling you about? His dad organizes.
Q's dad?
Q's dad. Well, I made an arrangement with Q's dad. They didn't use off of those exotic hunts that they have. We get here for our stews.
Yuck. No wonder I didn't like that stew.
It's not my fault you didn't like ostrich.
I don't like meat, you know that.
Well, I know that, but it's not my fault. But
Yeah.
So our guests do like. So Q's been bringing the meats in, what the nobles didn't take, and I figured he might be a good fit for you guys, as I'm not going for religious reasons.
Right.
You're going to need someone to keep you out of trouble, Grun.
Grun's going to push Dash out of the way so he gets right in Q's face. Not like in an intimidating way, just so I can have a conversation with him. And so Grun's going to ask Q, so have you made this trip before?
I've been around the fingers. Probably actually a little bit way further north of it, and west, east, pretty much anywhere that we can find any other animals. My benefactor likes anything that he can put up a fight.
But you traveled from Gumtar to Wyvenholt by the river, yes?
Well, I usually go by land, but
Well, he's going to turn back to Dash, so that's a no.
No, he
but I
hasn't
can get
gone by
you from
river
Wyvenholt
because usually he's hunting.
anywhere else. There's not many game, or not much game that I'm gonna bring back to my lord and have him hunting that needs to swim. It's not much of a hunt if I bring a fish onto land and let him put arrows in it.
So you're telling me that if we hire you or you join us or whatever to Wivenholt, we're not going to take the river?
We can go by river if you want, but from there you'll eventually have to leave the river. I can make sure you get up to Morford.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You'll turn to Bertra and Coram. I guess Lightning, for that matter.
Lightning is set down beside him, and she is like, in typical Lightning fashion, poking at his clothes, flipping his hair around, examining the tips of his ears. Typical Lightning, stuff.
Is she with you guys, or is she just
I
odd?
assume she's with us. Oh, I thought you were asking out of character.
No, in character.
So
I am being poked and prodded by someone.
Coram, Bertra, Lightning, Run, and Q, and Dash are all here, correct?
Correct.
So to answer your question, yeah, to both your questions. She's with us and she's a little odd.
No odder than
Like
you are, Grun.
distracted by a
They
ball
said
of
I'd go
fuzz
poop in the corners.
I don't poop in the corner anymore. I got my handy dandy little room here now.
Which you put down everywhere so everybody can see. It's the same difference.
You can't
So
see
if we
me.
can't hear you in there,
Well, you can't see me. Would you rather I not use it?
she kind of rolls her eyes and then she goes, "Well."
What were you saying, Coram?
So when Grun's in there, he can literally stare out the peephole so that we all know he's pooping, but
Yes.
but we can't do anything about it, right? We just see his like Grun beady eyes staring at us while he's taking.
Yeah, pretty much.
And whistling.
That's why Dash said not to do it in the kitchen.
I like Marcus's idea that there's at least at some point in time in our career, some kind of portal that's going to open up and drop all of Grun's droppings on hopefully a creature of our.
Don't give me ideas, guys. I have enough of my own. Don't give me more.
Or we're going to be traveling through the astral plane at some point and come across this pocket of.
You're like, wait a minute. That smells just like. We all look at Grun.
All right, back to Q.
So what are you guys going to do? Says Dash. You can leave him if you want. I'm sure his dad can use him, but you're down a person. Actually, you're down two with now you off.
Well, Grun will kind of somewhat reluctantly say, well, I only know the river route, so I guess it would help to have someone that knows the land route to get to Wivenholt as well. And what's your, did you tell us what the fee was, Jason?
A share?
A share.
Like I said, I need to pay down some debts, so if you'll give me a cut, I'll make sure you get there, and I'll guard your back on the whole way.
So just out of character, we can assess it sort of Elven Ranger, is that correct?
That'd probably be looking at his clothing. That would be a good assumption.
Okay.
And the way he explained about being able to track and hunt and all that, so yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good assumption
cool.
made by your characters that he's a woodland type.
And I'm assuming
one of those overgrown elf scouts.
And I'm assuming Dash has told Corn about the potential job with this Demetrius guy, and that's what's intriguing him about getting paid, right?
No, all Dash told him was you need a guide. Morford.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I know at this point is you guys are looking to get to point B.
Okay. All right. So Grun will share with Corin that's okay. So it's not going to be us that's paying you. So we got a potential job up in, he'll tell him the name of the final town. What's it? Morford? Morford? I forget now. Okay. That's where a potential job is up there. Nothing's guaranteed. We just got this note, and he'll share the note that he got, or that they got. And this is the lead we're following. So from our contacts that this guy is pretty wealthy, got some kind of healing magic powers. So let's see if we can make some coin this way. So that's where you're getting your money from, not from us.
Honestly, like I said, as long as I can get out of the city for a while and enjoy a little bit of freedom, it's fine with me.
So you're saying you do it for free? I like that.
Potentially.
If you guys do it for free, I'll do it for free.
In the middle of this, Dash is kind of wandered away, and he comes back and he plops down mugs in front of all of you. And Gordon, you watch it.
Kind of which? Okay. Interesting.
I'll tap the glass. I'll bring one of them with us.
I like your
at this point in
style.
time, Corum's gonna let Grun know that he can do this at will to any of Grun's mugs, whether they're sigil related or not. I think he's gonna let the secret go that he's been enjoying frosty beverages this whole time, while Grun has been enjoying warm beverages.
And Dash, and you hear Dash because he's now disappeared back toward the kitchen. He goes, "And no, you're not taking one of those mugs. You got one of your own.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
You better take yours, not one of the bars."
What are you getting all hussy with me about? I'm the one that got you guys freaking mugs.
Not
Thank you.
getting hussy. We need all the ones we got. We only got a small shipment right now.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to try to sneak one of the other mugs into his tunic.
And just as you're putting in your tunic, you feel a slap on your hand.
Wait, who did that?
And Dash walks back with the mug you just had in your hand walking with. Told you, take yours, not the bars.
That was mine.
No, that's the bars. Yours is in your room.
Oh, look, mine's got my... Okay. He sets it back on the bar.
Corum's
Ejected.
going to use this as an opportunity to try to gain some social points, for lack of a better word, with Grun. He'll automatically freeze whatever Grun's holding right now and just be like, "I got you."
I'll make it freeze wherever I'm holding.
You don't have anything because Dash just took his cup.
Then he's going to make his
I don't see the
fingertips
spell for
frosty
that.
and be like, "Hey, I got you."
You're frosting one of your cups? Is that what you said?
No, he's making your fingers cold.
My
I'm
finger's
making your
cold.
I'm making your fingers frosted. Little
It's like-
frosted tips.
Grant's gonna freak out. Like, what the? He starts slamming his fingers onto the top of the bar. What are you doing? Stop that! I'm gonna rage. Make it stop.
By the way, you did not upcharge that. Normal spell effect.
Oh, what did it say? No effect?
Yep, normal. Well, it's normal.
Normal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Prestidigitation.
It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Did you do that, Quorum? Rand, did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, Gordon just asked if you did that.
Yeah. So literally trying to use this as an olive branch with Grun. Like, listen, you don't need your frosted mugs. I can freeze your drinks for you the whole trip. Let's go. Roll out. Leave these ones back at the bar.
Oh, I'm confused. He said Quorum did that, not Quorum.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I got
Oh, sorry. I had to roll for quorum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quorum. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely gonna start calling him Q because I hear Quorum and Quarren, I'm gonna get.
Sorry, I'm gonna only correct you. Everyone else is gonna be calling me Q, and the whole time I'm like, Grun, it's Corian.
Okay.
Grun, it's Quarium. Grun, it's Corin.
Yeah, way to fucking confuse things, Dad.
It's not his fault he hired me. He didn't know my name at that time. Defending that.
Dash is off dealing with customers.
All right, so Grant will kind of shake the frost off his fingers and say, "Okay, whatever. Just don't do that again." All right. So, anybody else got any other questions for Q?
You're hired.
Welcome.
It'll be a
Cole.
pleasure. Thank you. And I assume everyone will introduce themselves to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Finally, Lightning quits poke-catching, and at one point, she's actually managed to locate the crest that you have on you. And goes, "What's this?"
The crest of the noble I serve.
Oh, that looks like
Do we-
Lord Torik's crest.
It is.
You work for
I've served,
Torik?
my family has served him for centuries, for his father and his father before him.
So you live at Caldwell?
Close. Lord
The
Lord
plot
Torik was
thickened.
generous enough to actually buy a house not too far that we could live on. That's kind of on his lands. That way we can be at hand, but not have to be underfoot. And still enjoy a little bit of nature.
That's nice of him.
It is. He's a good man.
We emptied his castle out for him.
Oh, you guys were the guys who came through and cleaned things up before we got there. Appreciate that.
Can
She
you tell
kinda-
us of the troubles that you've had since we've cleared it out?
I don't think any worse than anywhere else. Just undead. Not in the castle, but just in the woods. Not many, but some. But they seem to be springing up all over the place.
Did they fix the wall yet?
Which wall?
Oh, you must not have been in the wall. We kind of couldn't get around the door. Doors are hard. We decided that it was easier to go through the wall.
I'm sure Lord Torik is already on it. I know he was doing some renovations anyway, so.
Good. Would hate to think that they have a missing wall. Grum went through it quite nicely.
That's impressive that he managed to make it through a wall. They aren't exactly thin walls.
Well, he had Bertra's help.
How
Oh,
good
that
are you
explains
with
it.
doors, Q?
I can walk through them when they're open.
This is an improvement upon our current party.
What about the locked kind?
I wouldn't say it's my forte. I do have some deft hands, but I don't really carry around the tools to get through them.
Oh, okay.
Try not to be the first through a door anyways.
Oh, smart person. Don't worry. We usually send Grunt or Bertra through first.
That'll be excellent.
Usually they don't give us much of an option in, to be honest.
As a quick side note, does anyone know if Lightning actually still has her lockpicks? Because I know she. At one point.
I would assume by
still
now
don't.
I would assume by now she's replaced the set that she, because you broke your set in that one dungeon.
Yep.
So I'd say
That's right.
she gave you hers. So I'd say by now she's replaced her set. I mean, you all been in and out of the city multiple times. So to have made a set of lockpicks or a purchase set would not have been.
Grunt will pull out his axe, slam on the bar. So stick out my thieves' tools.
Yeah, that's what caused. That's how he got the hole in the wall
What hole? What wall?
in Caldwell. Remember?
Oh, I thought you were talking about here. I don't care.
Q will
Well,
give a little bit of a sidelong look at that, but
So, switching back to the DM. So, are you planning to leave today and charter a boat upriver from here?
Well, I guess we'll ask you that. I mean, does he have contacts that we can charter a boat? Do Grunt need to use his contacts to do that?
I don't
Q
really
would-
have contact. Sorry, go ahead.
He may not have contacts, but he would know the right people to acquire with to get you going on a boat out of the city. And I just kind of put the city in the how the river flows out of the city, or where the river flows out of the city. Now, there's quite a bit, and you've been in the city enough to know there's quite a bit of barge traffic that comes and goes through through Gumtar into Gumtar Stronghold. And of course, that Central River flows out to the edge pools that fill over that create the waterfall that spills over the cliff. But the main body of the river flows in from the jungles into here. And this close in, a lot of pole barges, things like that, are used to pole the fruits and stuff that Gumtar export into the city. In this area, before you get to Gumtar Stronghold, first set of bridges is where most of it's offloaded and carted into town and moved into the market district or put it in the shipping district or wherever it's going to go. So you're quickly and easily able to track down someone headed back the other direction. That's not going to be a hard thing to do. To find yourself a boat headed upriver. Now, it'll take a little bit longer for you to track down someone who's headed to the next city. And that, as Bercher predicted, is one of the smaller sailing boats that travels up and down the river. Kind of puts you in the mind. Well, I actually kind of like the picture that Marcus posted for us in the chat. Is what it looks like. The captain is a grizzled man. He has a.
You're talking about the one with the boat?
Yes, the boat. Yes, he's a grizzled man. There's him and two other people that are on the crew. So it's a very small boat. Whenever you approach him about going upriver, he's more than happy to take you all for you and your mounts for a single silver piece for you and your mount to go upriver to the next city. He explains that you're responsible for your own food and that he'll be leaving within the next couple of hours or when you're ready.
Next couple hours. Okay. Do we need to take a night to rest, or are you guys wanting to go tonight? What are we wanting to do here?
Let's go
Q will go and
tonight.
start getting supplies. Sorry, go ahead.
Birch is going to suggest let's just go tonight. We might as well.
And getting supplies is not easy when you own a tavern that has meats and food brought in.
Q would not know
easy?
that he could use those, so unless you guys call that out to him, he'll actually go and pick up a little bit of dried rations. He's confident that he can.
And that's actually
unfray.
dried rations is something that not using the tavern, but knowing what you all do, Dash has made a point to keeping dried rations available, in storage there in your all's portion of the tavern.
So can this boat actually handle our mounts as well,
Yes, handle you
Okay.
and your mounts.
including the big rhino?
Yes. Now, not to say it won't be crowded because it's not, it's not a big sailing ship, but it's a single small deck house in the back. Plenty of room for the mounts on the deck. He transports fruits, vegetables, and grains from northern or from the west here downriver, and then goes back either empty or goes back with cargo that someone has contracted him to hire, or he'll buy something himself and then sell it upriver. But he's more than happy to take passengers too. That's money too for him. So,
Any chance that his normal trip to wherever these towns we're going to is part of our trade for our Laughing Dragon?
Trade for what?
Our famous liquor that we get from Bright Glass.
No.
Oh,
No,
damn
the
it.
river flows the wrong direction for that.
We can branch out.
Your
Hey,
your
guys.
liquor comes in usually by the sea, not by river.
From Bright Glass?
Either by the sea or it'll come down by wagon.
Because if it comes by sea, I'm going to remind the group of that every single time. Yep. Got another delivery from Bright Glass by boat.
Oh dear. What are you gonna say there, Q?
Real quick, guys.
nothing.
Quorum definitely approves of the grunt room. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And then my my wife and family have all woken up and are giving me extremely dirty stares. So I'm going to have to leave you guys for the last 45 minutes, but I'll watch it and catch up.
Yep.
Go have fun with the kids.
Wait,
Love you
Rand,
guys.
before
See
you
ya.
go. Just kidding. See ya.
Yeah, wait. No, you're fine. What's
No,
up?
he's just messing with you.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was just gonna try to keep you on for as long as I could. Don't worry about it. Go.
All right, man. You guys have fun.
Later,
Yeah,
Rand.
man.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, Corm is overcome with a feeling of generosity and starts giving his money away to everyone else in the party.
Well, there's not much left if Corin bought everything that he said he was going to buy.
I don't know. It looks like he has a decent chunk of change yet, unless there's other stuff that he was supposed to cut
Well,
out.
no, his correspondence was with me earlier today, so I don't think he's been in Roll20 to make the changes to his sheets. Okay, so yeah, the not part of the normal trade because, like I said, your all's goods either come in by ship or by wagon. Typically, well, the first few orders that come in by wagon because it was faster to set up. But the plan is that eventually you'll get regular shipments coming in by boat, which ships come in and out of Gumtar all the time, so that's nothing big.
Okay.
The captain says he can take you as far. He can take you to Stonemere, to Strongmere for a silver each. If you want to pay him 3 silver, he can take you as far as Osborne.
Sold.
Very well.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bertra will pay him like 2 gold, which should cover it all, shouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Are you paying for all of us?
Yeah, she'll pay for all.
There's no need for that, even though it is only 2 gold, but thanks. I'll get you a cold one on the way back.
Q, who does not have as much gold as you guys, very impressed by that. Thank you, Lady Bertra.
The ship, within a few hours of you all making the arrangements and stuff as agreed, everything brought aboard and it pulls itself out into there, and you immediately see though it's got mast and sails. Initially, on the way out of the city, they pull the ship out of the city, and then as soon as they're clear of the city gates and all that, they unfurl the sail and start tacking their way up the river. The river, like I said, it's probably about quarter of a mile wide at some points. It's a very wide river, but the boat tends to stay in the central channel where it's deep enough for it to plow the waters. Now, along the edges, you can see smaller pole boats coming and going. The ones going toward the city are piled high with goods. You figure mostly fruits, things like that, from the area going into the city. Your boat stays pretty much in the central part of the river, working its way slowly upriver. It'll take it about 2.5 to 3 days to make the first town because of the tacking back and forth before you get to Strongmere. However, the captain and crew, even though there's only 3 of them, work in shifts once they're sailing. There's 2 of them on duty at all times, and they rotate so that the ship doesn't even stop at night. You would have plenty of time to do that run within the 10 days. So go ahead and add.
Well, I forget what the price of them were. Did we get a better deal now that we're have more renowned or whatever?
I'll have to look that up and see how you did in negotiation.
Okay.
That won't be a problem because you've been there 10 days. So stuff like that, stuff that you would have said, "Oh, I need to get these."
Okay. Yeah.
So it takes you.
to negotiate for you.
Yeah, and that's probably something Dash will be working through while you guys are gone, getting suppliers and things like that kind of stuff, knowing you're going to need them. So it takes about 2.5 days, even with the boat running at night. At one point, the captain shares with you the reason they don't stop is not efficiency, but if they stay in the middle of the channel and move their way up, they don't have to worry about the undeadies.
So that's more of a recent issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a more recent. He shares with you, Grant. That's more recent. He said, "No, once we get past Strongmere, we won't have to worry much about them at all. Once we get past Strongmere, but
Okay.
closer we get to Gumtar, the worse they seem to get. So the fellas now have gone just to rotate. Well, like you see, it's doing rotating shifts and moving all night, just get to and from, and mostly what we see is people are shamblers, or those are the lot of names Phil call them, walkers, and they don't like to swim, so stay in the middle or stay away from. Now the river gets narrow and wider as you're going up and down it. It's typical kind of jungle river, and there's all kinds of wonderful calls. But the trip from Gumtar to Strongmere passes without incident. Of course, you also never stop. It's a good question. What's the weather do? Hold on. I have my table set up for that finally. Oh, weather conditions are normal. It's hot and humid. Typical weather in this part of the area. As you get closer to Strongmere, you begin to notice that the jungle has been thinned back in places, and along the way, you all periodically boat ramps jutting out from the riverbanks, and those boat ramps lead back either to storage houses, or in one case, you actually see an entire huge plantation house set there in the jungle. And from the region is known for its fruits and tropical fruits that it delivers. So you figure these are probably banana plantations and starfruit plantations, things like that. When you arrive at Strongmere it's a town, probably on the size of what Corcliffe was. You all visited there, maybe 200 or 300 people tops. It's tightly on the edge of the river. There's a number of docks and stuff there. The captain does put in there. He picks up supplies and food for both your animals and for him and his crew. You actually stay the night tied up there. There's a small local tavern if you guys care to go into town to check it out. He does probably one of the biggest entertainments in Strongmere is dog mole fighting.
Dog mole?
Yep.
Okay. Is that something we're familiar with?
Yep. You've encountered it before. You encountered or was suggested to attend the dog mole fights in High Griffin. There.
Okay. Guess I just don't remember that.
Well, you all kind of said no.
Yeah.
You all could have been. You all just kind of said no. We're not doing that.
Okay.
Bircher's going to go and see what it's all about.
Find a picture of a dog mole here. Bring it on the screen, just so you can see. They are. I'll drag the token so you can look at it here. I'm making it really big so you can see its face. Oh, I actually might want to switch to the map I'm on too.
Are we on the same map?
No, you're not, because I'm on a different map. Yes. So I was mapping travel. The token's actually way larger than what it needs to be, so you can see it. These things are about, Bertha, what you see, these things are about the size of a dog. I mean, like a German Shepherd or a large breed dog. And they actually put them into rings and fight them. They're bred by the dwarves originally to help with excavation of tunnels and things. And for some reason here in the area, the dwarves have started fighting them. And usually the fights are to the death.
Q does not approve. He will not be around for that.
Does not approve. I'll be around for that. But they say you stay in town past the day there, and then you get back on the river the next. And you find your way from Strongmere to Osborne. Takes another 3 days, so you're now 5.5 days. Let me go to the map so I can move that. Because I'll forget. Like that.
So Strongmere was like a real small little podunk little town on the river,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't a big town. You
And
made
pretty much-
Strongmere. You made Strongmere on the 42nd day of Brensop, and Oathurst the next town. You'll make on Jormungandr the 4th. There's a mouthful.
If you say so.
You pull into that town, and it's again Osborne is another little town, probably 300 or 400 residents total in it. Mostly a plantation depot place where the plantations area come together and get their stuff, their cargo ready to go out on the boats headed to Gumtar or headed to Wivenholt. Again, mostly fruits, vegetables, though there are tubers and things here. Go toward Wivenholt, whereas the vegetables or the fruits tend to go toward Gumtar. Not all of it go toward Gumtar, though. The river traffic is kind of going both ways. Now, the captain, when you dock here, says, "This is as far as I can take you." My names it actually gave it a name when I created it, guys. Sorry. He says it's too shallow from here on up for us. This is this end of our run, the farthest we ever go this way.
Well, how do they get the produce up there then?
From here, most of the produce goes by the road to Wivenholt, or if it goes by river, it goes on pole barges.
Okay. Okay. No concern of or
No. This far to the east, the concern of undead is. Yeah, they've heard about the problem. Yeah, occasionally they might have one wonder a year or something like that. Nothing crazy. Not like what Gumtar's dealing with.
okay.
The town seems rather friendly for the most part, but like I said, it's more of anything. It's calling it a town is probably a misnomer. It's more a collection of warehouses to store the stuff that's being shipped out of the city, and the few people that live here mainly make up the people that work in that trade, either in the warehouses or in the ships that the boats that ply back and forth, the carts and wagons that move stuff back and forth. Most of the residents in this area live in the plantations and farms outside of the city itself, the town itself.
A mix of races, or is it like predominantly like wood elves, or what is it?
Mostly here, it's a mix. Mostly you see dwarves. A lot of dwarves here. You also see quite a few halflings, gnomes. There are a group of elves here. You would probably class them wood elves. Look at them, but their skin tone is a little ruddier, a little greener than what you traditionally think of a wood elf's coloring, but it kind of matches the region. So the other race that kind of stands out as, well, obviously humans are everywhere. They're like cockroaches in the fantasy world. They're everywhere.
Dirty, filthy humans.
Yeah, pretty much. But the other race that kind of stands out in the mix here is there are a few lizard men living in and amongst the city. Enough that you actually see them in the city.
Any cause for concern? Or do we have interaction with lizard men at Oliver Horn?
No, just the ones you kind of Oliver Horn. But actually, as you get closer, you realize that the handful of lizard men, or what you first partook to be lizard men, are probably not lizard men, more like dragon men.
Dragon men, like dragonborn or like half dragon? Sorry, metagame wise, but
Dragonborn are probably closer to the
Okay.
description.
okay.
And Dragonborn, as you all may not be aware, are exceedingly rare, Darn. So they're not a large population of them, but there is a population of Dragonborn here in this area for some reason.
There's no, I guess, bad history with anything Dragonborn, right? Okay.
Not that anybody knows of, and if there is, it's so far in the past now that no one really concerns much about it. I mean, for the most part, the races get along fairly well with each other.
Okay.
Most, at least this part of Eldarn, look at it along the lines of you be you, I'll be me, and we all get along.
Okay.
Boats to pull yourself to Wivenholt if you want, or you can take the road. That's up to you.
Go ahead.
Both the same amount of time.
I said, yeah, flatboats are a little bit slower than my ship. I said about the same amount of time either way you go. The biggest reason being fairly Wivenholt, all things considered. The river, however, it flows almost due east from here and then hooks north, whereas the road kind of goes northeast. So the road, though it takes you longer to travel than on foot than on water, the distance is shorter, so about the same amount of time.
And you said it's a lot shallower the rest of this way, right?
Yeah, so yeah, from here on out, it's mostly pole barges, mule boats, that sort of thing, going from here on up. There is another town to the south called Raybush. You may have heard of it when you were passed through here before. But it has boat traffic coming and going with it. But there's an area where the river joins up that you pass through, but you know from here it's the river traffic is much slower going. Now you could maybe rent canoes, something like that, if you want to leave your pack animals here and travel quicker.
No.
But again, you'd be losing your pack animals to do that.
Yeah, we need them for the trip from Wivenholt to Morford.
One question: did you bring the cart?
If we thought we needed it, I'm not sure if we really needed it. What do you guys say?
I was just curious. I don't care.
Q, Bertra? What did we lose, Q?
Doesn't seem like it'd be worth it. You can always rent one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Q would have recommended, unless you're attached to that cart or you really want to haul it across the entire countryside. If we get up there and determine there's anything we need to bring back, we could probably get one.
Okay.
By the way, Q, you have access to a horse.
Yeah, I kind of assumed.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't assume.
I never thought I should tell you that, but I assumed that by now you had a horse of your own.
All right, so I guess this is what we're hiring Q for. So I'm assuming we're going to take the...
Yeah, unless you guys want to keep going by boat, I would put it in the road and riding out from here.
It's good to give them out some exercise.
Oh, Bertra. So far, you're my favorite.
All right, yeah. Grun's not that impressed with this river. It's more like a little stream.
Yeah.
So he's okay taking the road if we're going to take it this far.
Okay, so
is it
you all
midday or what time of the day is it?
It's about midday whenever you finally get there and just get disembarked and all that. So. Okay.
Well, unless there's anything you guys want to check out in town, we should probably hit the road, and then Q will whistle and his owl will come flying off the top of the ship where it's been sitting this whole time.
Mm.
And perch on his shoulder, and then as we start moving out, we'll... Yeah, actually, do you guys want to check out anything in this town, or...?
Is there anything of interest that Grum would have seen his first time through here that would...
Warehouses, a couple taverns, a bathhouse. So it's not much more than a shipping point, to be honest. Yeah, there are homes here, but it's the people that live here and work this part of the town.
Okay.
mostly it's even the town even is mostly owned by the plantation owners.
Okay.
There is a no, I'm sorry, wrong town. Wrong town.
All right. So I guess if we got plenty of daylight left, if no one else has any need to stick in town, let's just keep moving.
Okay. So you travel from here to Osborne, or from Osborne to Wivenholt, rather. Now, Wivenholt's a whole different story when you ride. It takes you about about 3 days. Map here, yeah. Estimate, right. $50 miles, half a day, yeah, 3 days. 2 nights rest, what it amounts to. It should be on the other. Up, so I can switch that token so I get. Takes you 3 days to get there, and it's 3 uneventful days as you travel. You arrive on Sunday, the 7th day on the outskirts of the city of Wivenholt. Wivenholt itself is set up against the base of the mountain. It's actually, I shouldn't say the base, the first level at the base of the mountain. The city itself is like 3 tiers high, and it follows the bend, the line of the mountain. And each tier is like about 20 or 30 feet, then another 20 or 30 feet, and so on. So as you arrive, it looks like an old-fashioned wedding cake. As you start arriving, say I don't have an image for you. I haven't had a chance to sketch one up. But as you arrive in Wivenholt, this tiered city sets on the back of the mountain, and the mountains. Now, Grun, you passed through this way. Some of you may not have been out this far. Bertra, for you recognize these mountains. These are granite mountains. They're hard rock mountains, and they're called the Fangs colloquially here in the area because there's this small set, and then there's another small set to the north. But they're also called the Fangs. These mountains are sharp and steep. There's very few passes that goes through them. Most traffic just goes around them or it goes over them if it can. And I don't mean over it by walking. I mean flies over it. For racial profiling. Yeah, kind of Minas Tirith-like in its appearance, yeah. The lower part of the city is a great walled city, and as you approach the city, there's several gates going in, but you've come the road, you quickly come to the gate. One of the things that catches your eye as you're approaching the gate, you see high up on the 3rd and 4th tier, really above the 3rd and 4th tier of the city, you see wyverns circling in the air above the city. And they'll circle down to the lower areas and then circle again towards the lower areas. And they'll come down almost in a pattern. And then they'll go back up the other side of the area, almost like they're patrolling. Make a perception check.
I was going to say, can we tell if they're mounted or not?
Granda does. Granda says there's big birds.
I imagine I've seen them before, but...
Yeah, you've seen them before.
Okay.
So I hope this works out as well because I accidentally sent it to myself at first with the 24. So apparently I'm less percent. Ah, dang it.
You still set the mythical mask if I'm seeing.
I sent it once to myself, once to you, and apparently that's the final one.
I can see it, so you're okay. You're okay. I got the 24-year-old the first time, so fine. Now I am now seeing it, so the rest of the world is seeing that lousy 8-year-old. So one of the first things you notice is you spot Q. Bertra. Not so much for Grun. is you spot. I guess I should roll lightning others, but I'm not going to bother. You catch just a glint of steel on the backs of these wyverns, and you realize they're mounted. They're riders. And as you're standing there watching, as you approach the gates, the gates are 20 foot high. Beautiful arch, scroll work and stuff on there. Absolutely gorgeous to look at. And you realize that the city has not only dwarven in it, but elven influence as well. And there is a set of guards at the gate, and all the traffic going to the gate is being stopped. Whenever it comes your turn to get through the gate, the guards come approach you. The one in the lead, obviously the one in charge, is a tall, thin, regal elf. His chainmail armor is brilliant silver, and he has a tabard across his chest piece that's in light blue and white, and on it is the crest of the city. And one of the main features in the crest of the city is a mounted wyvern. And he looks at the group, kind of sizing you up for a second. What ho? Why have you traveled your way to Wyvernholt this day?
Just making our way through, heading north.
Very well, very well. Are you planning on spending the eve here, or just traveling on today? It's
What time of the day is it?
about mid.
I guess Grunt will ask the rest of the group. You guys want to kind of rest here for the night, have one night in a decent bed, or keep going?
Well, we might be able to find some work that on the way.
All right, I'm cool with that. So yeah, we may be here for a couple days then.
Fine, fine. You'll need to have your weapons bound.
I'm
Do you
assuming
have-
Grunt's gonna be familiar with this, right?
This is a custom that it's not uncommon in parts of the world.
No, I mean as far as Grunt being here before.
Yeah, you're familiar with. Yeah, I would
Okay.
come here. I was just explaining to the others. What they mean by binding your weapons is to actually use a ribbon or some kind of specifically woven cloth that the guards can recognize, and they use it to secure your weapons in their scabbards. And they usually tie them with a very intricate knot that can't be easily duplicated, so that you can't easily draw your weapon. It's to make you think twice before you draw a weapon inside the city, is what it amounts to. And then because the knots are very complex and very specifically designed, it's not easy for someone who's not familiar with the city to duplicate that knot. So they would know that, hey, you undid your sword, why? Kind of thing.
Okay.
Can I watch closely and see if I can
Oh, you sure can.
pick up enough of it?
And we'll need to bind your weapons. Do you have casters in your group?
Grunt looks around confusingly. Yeah, I think so.
They'll need to be bound as well.
The casters need to be bound.
Yes?
So what do? You gag them?
No, sir. No, sir. We simply bind one or two of their fingers on their hands to make it more difficult for them to create arcane gestures while in the city.
I'm sure Coram would speak up, saying that he plays music, so having fingers bound will probably make that a little difficult for him.
I understand. You can get a permit for the use of magic in this city, sir. You must be one of the performing sort. Exchange goes back. Exchange goes back and forth between him and Coram, and they work it out. The end result is Coram purchases a permit for a silver piece, so that he don't have to have his hand bound because he's a performing bard. Once the bindings are done, as you watch, it's a very intricate wrap and bind type thing. It's done with a blue-white ribbon across the. He says, "Now, recommendations. You say you're going to stay the night."
Yeah, probably so.
Very well. There's a number of good taverns and inns in this district that you might find of use. If more comfortable, you can of course go in toward the upper tiers. Now, the topmost tier, I don't think I've seen any of you come through the gates before. I could be wrong. The topmost tier is the Lord's tier and is off limits to anyone except for the Lord's and his family. But the lower two tiers are very open to anybody in the public. There are guards at each station, so this should not be a problem. The second tier has a number of middle to high-end taverns and hostels and inns, if that is of interest to you. There is more than enough. He gestures toward the inner gate, and you see a whole kids lining the streets just inside the gate. There's a number of guides that'll be more than happy to take you to different parts of the city if you're so inclined, or you can simply stick to the main thoroughfares. Everything is very well marked. Have a good day now.
I just ask him before he leaves if there's anywhere that would have job postings or stuff like that.
What type of jobs?
You ever heard of the retrieval service?
Retrieval, sir.
It's from
No.
Gultown.
Well,
Basically,
you go pick things up?
we do that sometimes. Sometimes we go and evict people from properties or kill bandits.
Ah. So that's the kind of... You might try the Three Broomsticks. It's a tavern and bar just up the street. Directions in the city. Here on this tier, they often don't have per se job listings, but if people's looking for that sort of work, that's one of the places that I would go if I was in that.
Is that a bar, or is that an inn, or both, or?
It's sort of both. It
Okay.
caters to a rougher crowd than probably you're used to. He kind of looks at you. And he's almost being a little facetious in that comment.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably a bit rougher crowd than you're used to, but you should get along there fine.
Any suggestion from you, Jason, that if Grun would have stayed somewhere here last time through, or
You probably just stayed in. I mean, there's actually half a dozen or more taverns and inns throughout the city. You did not stay at the Three Broomsticks, but you would have probably stayed somewhere on tier 1.
yeah, that's what I figured. It's one of the cheapest places he could find, probably.
Yeah, that would have been my thought. Yeah,
Okay.
Probably one of the cheaper places. You'd have probably stayed in a common room from one of the taverns or bars as he's traveling through.
Okay. All right. So, are we supposed to? He'll turn to maybe Q. I don't know. Should we tip this guy, or what are we supposed to do with this?
I don't think you tipped the guardman.
We don't. Okay. Good.
I mean, do you guys? I've never tipped a guardman.
I don't tip anybody.
He's gonna all of a sudden look around at everyone else because he's not a big city guy and be like, "Am I supposed to be tipping these guys?"
Nah, don't worry about it.
I thought that was called a bribe.
What's a bribe? Are we supposed to bribe these guys?
No.
Yeah, and this conversation is happening as you are passing the rest of the way through the gate.
All right. So, Bertram, I'm assuming you want to go check out this job posting at the Three Broomsticks, eh?
Yeah. Let's get one.
Just as you arrive, as you get passed through the gate, a horde, being the best way to describe it, of children, anywhere from 5 to 12 years of age, depending on the species and their size, kind of descend upon the group, offering their services as guides.
Grab all of his coin purses, backpack, anything that's loose.
Okay.
Watch your stuff.
But Bertra has her coin pouch in her bosom.
Very well.
Swear,
She will just look very uncomfortable. So
And as you all continue to ride on Pat through the pack of children, eventually they one by one realize no good business from you all, disperse and go back toward the gate, and begin to hassle the next people through.
Bertra feels bad. She'll give them. Hey, I'm just going to see. She'll give them 15 gold, 1-5.
Good lord.
each of the
That's
whole
it.
pack.
So,
Not each to share.
so Bertram hands out like 15 gold pieces, and the pack kind of finally disperses and disappears.
A few fights break out. Kid crying.
Yeah, there's a little squabble.
One kid gets his finger bit off.
What? Yeah, most of them take the golds, bite it, and then run when they realize these gold orbs are real. Quickly disappear from the gate area. Q, what's your response to seeing that? I mean, you've been traveling with the guys, about the party for about 5 or 6 days now, give or take.
Well, I'm gonna start by wondering: are we supposed to bribe children too? But apparently these guys are very generous and wealthy. That's more gold than I carry. So, but I'll just stay silent and kind of watch.
Okay. So, asking questions, or find the three too far into the city. The sign is really easy to spot. You can see how the tavern gets its name. Its sign is literally 3 broomsticks hung from a signpost out front. The tavern itself, when you come into the tavern, unlike unlike Gumtar. Now, one of the things that always kind of stuck out to you all at Gumtar Stronghold was the buildings were always, the majority of the buildings in Gumtar Stronghold are stuccoed on the outside, and they're painted in these bright colors, and the combinations of the colors would kind of tell you what kind of wares was being offered in the business. You knew like this color would be food items, and this color would be weapons, and so on. It's not like that here. The city itself is made of pretty much a uniform gray stone. In some cases, it may have actually been carved out of living rock here in the area. The door to the 3 broomsticks, when you approach it, is one of these. It's up against the inner rock wall and the lower back portion of this tier, and it kind of looks like almost like a dungeon entrance. The way it's styled, you go into the 3 broomsticks like an open tavern, and you go in. And when you go in the door, the passageway makes an immediate turn to the left and to the right, and then it hooks back around, so the bar doesn't actually have a physical door on the front of it, so much as an entrance where you can walk in and go around a wall and you come into the main room. The main tap room, when you're in it, is a large room carved in like a kind of like a feasting hall look, and it's carved straight back into the thing. It's kind of, and there are a number of trellises and benches set up along the way, and staff moving amongst the benches and the tables. Along the front wall is a huge oak bar polished to a high sheen. There are torches spaced along the sides of the wall, and even though it's midday, the business is, it's not packed, but it's comfortably full. When you arrive in there, it takes you a little bit to find a table where you all can sit down. Now, there was hitching posts and stuff outside where you could tie your animals up.
All right, so I guess we'll find a secluded table in the corner like our norm.
You're unfortunately not able to find one in the corner. The table you find is in the middle of the room.
I'll look over to Bertha. Bertha, you want to make room in the corner? Just drag the table over the corner all the way.
As you all start to rearrange the furniture, a rather brusque-looking human woman appears. Is what are you doing?
Just getting a corner table.
The corner tables are all full. Now you leave my tables where they're at.
Bertha, you want to give her like some money to see if she'll change her mind? You like that, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll flip her a gold piece. How about that? Can we get a corner table now?
She definitely catches the gold piece on hand, the gold orb out of the air, spins it around in her fingers. I can't get you a corner table because they're all full, but I can get you a price.
Yeah, even better. I like that.
So she leads you toward the back, toward the bar. You notice as you get toward the bar, there's a set of stairs carved into the stone, going up. She leads you up up one of the sets of stairs, and there's another feasting hall or type room up there. But this one is sectioned off into smaller rooms with dividers, wooden dividers with paper in them as well. And she takes you into one of these and says, "Here you go."
Nice. I like this place already. Too bad I wasn't here last time.
Because now, what do you want to drink?
Some ale. And he pulls out his mug. And fill it in this.
She looks kind of confused, but she quickly takes the mug and goes, "Very well. Ale for the Minotaur gentleman. The rest of you?"
Something sweet.
Sweet. Very well. I have something I think you like.
I'll take an ale.
An ale? Very well. She goes around and she gives all the orders. Because food?
Yeah.
We have an excellent stew. And
Does it have meat in it?
Well, I was about to say, sir, we have a stew that's a vegetable stew that I think you'll find quite to your liking. For the
Give me
rest of you?
I'll take 2 bowls.
Very well. 2 bowls it is. For the rest of you, meatless or meat? She finishes taking the orders. She goes, "I'll be back in a bit, or one of my staff will be." She's not gone very long. Your ales arrive, and a rather large wine glass arrives for you, Bertra. The ale that arrives for you, Grun, is in your mug. Your mug has been cleaned and washed in the meat while it was gone.
A little disgruntled about that, but okay.
It's been cleaned and washed. Along with the ales when it arrived, a couple of small loaves of barley bread arrives with it, along with a variety of dipping sauces. Shortly thereafter, your stews arrive. Everything is rather excellent quality. And that's where we'll leave the party tonight, having dinner or a late lunch, 3 broomsticks.
What was Q doing